Now we're going to share. Boom. All right, I'll kick it off. We got chapter 4, auto-suggestion. The medium for influencing the subconscious mind, the third steps towards riches. 1 second. There we go. Autosuggestion is a term autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli which reach one's mind through the 5 senses. Stated in another way, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It is the agency for communication between the part of the mind where the conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious mind. To the dominating thoughts which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, whether these thoughts be negative or positive, is immaterial. The principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with these thoughts. No thought, whether it to be negative or positive, can enter the subconscious mind without the aid of the principle of autosuggestion. With the exception of thoughts picked up from the ether, stated differently, all sense impressions which are perceived through the 5 senses are stopped by the conscious thinking mind and may be either passed on to the subconscious mind or rejected at will. The conscious faculty serves, therefore, as our outer guard to approach of the subconscious. Nature has so built man that he has absolute control over the material which reaches the subconscious mind through the 5 senses. Although this is not meant to be construed as a statement that man always exercises this control. In the great majority of instances, he does not exercise it, which explains why so many people go through life in poverty. Recall what has been said about the subconscious mind resembling a fertile garden spot in which weeds will grow in the abundance if the seeds of more desirable crops are not shown therein. Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature, or by neglect, permit thoughts of a destructive nature to find their way into the rich garden of the mind.
You want someone else to read it, Tom?
Sorry, brother. I didn't
read.
mean to do that.
Who's reading?
I didn't mean to. I accidentally muted you, Dom.
Dom, I think Dom is still reading, right? We couldn't hear you, Dom. You are muted.
Oh. All right. Go ahead, Dave. You want to pick up from there?
Sorry. Yeah, sure. Were you right at the top there? You were instructed?
Yeah, you were instructed. Yep.
Okay. You were instructed in the last of the 6 steps described in the chapter on desire to read aloud twice daily the written statement of your desire for money and to see and feel yourself already in possession of the money. By following these instructions, you communicate the object of your desire directly to your subconscious mind in a spirit of absolute faith. Through repetition of this procedure, you voluntarily create thought habits which are favorable to your efforts to transmute desire into its monetary equivalent. Go back to these 6 steps described in chapter 2 and read them again very carefully before you proceed further. Then, when you come to it, very Read very carefully the 4 instructions for the organization of your mastermind group described in the chapter on organized planning. By comparing these 2 sets of instructions with that which has been stated on autosuggestion, you, of course, will see that the instructions involve the application of the principle of autosuggestion. Remember, therefore, when reading aloud the statement of your desire, through which you are endeavoring to develop a money consciousness, that the mere reading of the words is of no consequence unless you mix emotion or feeling with your words. If you repeat a million times the famous MLQ formula, day by day, in every way, I am getting better and better, without mixing emotion and faith with your words, you will experience no desirable results. Your subconscious mind recognizes and acts upon only thoughts which have been well mixed with emotion or feeling. This is a fact of such importance as to warrant repetition in particular, practically every chapter, because the lack of understanding of this is the main reason the majority of people who try to apply the principle of autosuggestion get no desirable results. Plain, unemotional words do not influence the subconscious mind. You will get no appreciable results until you learn to reach your subconscious mind with thoughts or spoken words which have been well emotionalized with belief. Do not become discouraged if you cannot control and direct your emotions the first time you try to do so. Remember, there is no such possibility as something for nothing. Ability to reach and influence your subconscious mind has its price, and you must pay that price. You cannot cheat even if you desire to do so. The price of ability to influence your subconscious mind is everlasting persistence in applying the principles described here. You cannot develop the desired ability for a lower price. You and you alone must decide whether or not the reward for which you are striving, the money consciousness, is worth the price you must pay for it in effort. Wisdom and cleverness alone will not attract and retain money except in a very few rare instances where the law of averages favors the attraction of money through these sources. The method of attracting money described here does not depend on the law of averages. Moreover, the method plays no favorites. It will work for one person as effectively as it will work for another. Where failure is experienced, it is the individual, not the method, which has failed. If you try and fail, make another effort and still another until you succeed. Your ability to use the principle of autosuggestion will depend very largely upon your capacity to concentrate upon a given desire until that desire becomes a burning obsession. When you begin to carry out the instructions.
Hold on, Dave. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
It's Zap. How you doing?
Great, how are you?
Good. I want to just interrupt you right now. Is that okay?
Sure.
Dominic.
Zap, yeah.
Dominic,
Zap, zap.
dude, I'm listening to Dave talk, and I'm literally, every sentence, it keeps getting better and better.
Yes.
Like everything in this chapter that he's leading up to here, this is completely blowing my mind. How this
Keep going.
book gives you the blueprint to be successful in anything in your life.
Yes,
Uh,
agreed.
It blows my mind how mind-blowing this content is.
I think that's the most powerful thing of this, because I was listening to this chapter for the second time again on audio earlier today while I was driving. And the most amazing part of this is this was written in 1937. Every single principle, every single thing they talk about, they could be talking about exactly what's happening in life today, right now, if you apply it. Even if you
That's
don't
right.
apply it, it's still happening.
No, you're 100% right.
So powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful. I just wanted you guys to just, if you weren't absorbing it, just, Dave, you can read that to me, what you just read 50 times, and I would still want to keep hearing it. Because it's literally, it's the answer. It's the secret, guys.
Yes.
Let's go back.
When he
a few.
talks about the secret, this is the secret.
Totally agree.
Let's go back right here, right to the top again.
Use
wants to-
all the suggestions influence our subconscious mind, right? To achieve our desire, carry out the plan and taking action immediately, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead, Dave.
Somebody else want to go now?
Sure.
Natasha, you want to read a bit?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Sure.
We'll go right back to do not
Okay.
become discouraged.
Got it. Do not become discouraged. If you cannot control and direct your emotion the first time you try to do so, remember there's no such possibility as something for nothing. Ability to reach and influence your subconscious mind has its price, and you must pay that price. You cannot cheat, even if you desire to do so. The price of ability to influence your subconscious mind is everlasting, persistent in applying the principle described here. You cannot develop the desired ability for a lower price. You and you alone must decide whether or not the reward for which you are striving, the money consciousness, is worth the price you must pay for it in effort. Wisdom and cleverness alone will not attract return money, except in a few very rare instances where the law of averages favor the attraction of money through these sources. The method of attracting money described here does not depend upon the law of averages. Moreover, the method plays no favor. It will work for one person as effectively as it is for another. Where failure is experienced, it is the individual, not the method, which has failed. If you try to fail, make another effort and still another until you succeed. Your ability to use the principle of autosuggestion will depend very largely upon your capacity to concentrate upon your given desire until that desire becomes a burning obsession. When you begin to carry out the instruction in connection with the 6th step described in the 2nd chapter, it will be necessary for you to make the use of principle of concentration. Let us here offer suggestion for the effective use of concentration. When you begin to carry out the first of the 6th step, which instructs you to fix in your own mind the exact amount of money you desire. Hold your thoughts on that amount of money by concentration or fixation of attention with your eyes closed until you can actually see the physical appearance of the money. Do this at least once each day. As you go through these exercises, follow the instruction given in the chapter on faith and see yourself actually in possession of the money. Here is the most significant fact. The subconscious mind takes any order given it in a spirit of absolute faith and act upon those orders, although the order often has to be presented over and over again through repetition before they are interpreted by the subconscious mind. Following the preceding statement, considering the possibility of playing a perfect legitimate trick on your subconscious mind by making it believe, because you believe it, that you must have the amount of money you are visualizing, that this money is already waiting for your claim, that the subconscious mind must hand over you practical plan for acquiring the money, which is yours. Hand over the thought suggested in the preceding paragraph in your imagination and see that your imagination can or will do to create practical plan for accumulating the money through transmutation of your desire. Do not wait for a definite plan through which you intend to exchange services or merchandise in return for the money you are visualizing, but begin at once to see yourself in possession of the money, demanding and expecting meanwhile that your subconscious mind will hand over the plan or plans you need. Be on alert for these plans, and when they appear, pull them into action immediately. When the plan appears, they will probably flash into your mind through the 6 senses in the form of inspiration. This inspiration may be considered as a direct telegram or message from infinite intelligence. Treat it with respect and act upon it as soon as you receive it. Failure to do so will be fatal to your success. In the 4th of the 6th step, you are instructed to create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once to put this plan into action. You should follow this instruction in the manner described in the preceding paragraph. Do not trust your reason when creating your plan for accumulating money through the transmutation of desires. Your reason is faulty. Moreover, your reasoning faculty may be lazy, and if you depend entirely upon it to serve you, it may be disappoint you. When visualizing the money you intend to accumulate with closed eyes, see yourself rendering the services or delivering the merchandise you intend to get in return for this money. This is important. Someone else want to read the last part?
You want to go, y'all, Star? Or
Yeah, I can go.
cool.
Just
Summer.
in advance. Hopefully I won't sneeze.
Oh no. I put my mask on. No, I'm just kidding.
Summary of the instructions. The fact that you are reading this book is an indication that you earnestly seek knowledge. It is also an indication that you are a student of the subject. If you are only a student, there is a chance that you may learn much that you did not know, but you will learn only by assuming an attitude of humility. If you choose to follow some of the instructions by neglect or refuse to follow others, you will fail. To get satisfactory results, you must follow all instructions in spite of faith. The instructions given in connection with the 6 steps in the 2nd chapter will now be summarized and blended with the principles covered in this chapter as follows. First, go into some quiet spot, preferably in bed at night, where you will not be disturbed or interrupted. Close your eyes and repeat out loud so you may hear your own words. The written statement of the amount of money you intend to accumulate, the time limit for its accumulation, and a description of the service or merchandise you intend to give in return of your money. As you carry on these instructions, see yourself already in possession of the money. For example, suppose you intend to accumulate $50,000 by the 1st of January, 5 years hence that you intend to give personal service in return for the money, and the capacity of a salesman. Your written statement of your purpose should be similar to the following. By the 1st day of January 1995, I will have in my possession $50,000, which will come to me in various amounts from time to time during the interim. In return for this money, I will give the most efficient service of which I am capable, rendering the fullest possible quantity and the best possible quality of service in the capacity of a salesman. Describe the service or merchandise you intend to sell. I believe that I will have this money in my possession. My faith is so strong that I can now see this money before my eyes. I can touch it with my hands. It is now awaiting transfer to me at the time. In the proportion that I deliver the service, I intend to render in return for it. I am waiting a plan by which to accumulate this money. I will follow that plan when it is received. Second, repeat this program night and morning until you can see in your imagination the money you intend to accumulate. Third, place a written copy of the statement where you can see it night and morning and read it just before retiring and upon arising until it has been memorized. Remember, as you carry out these instructions, that you are applying the principles of auto-suggestion for the purpose of giving orders to your subconscious mind. Remember also that your subconscious mind will act only upon instructions which are emotionalized and handed over to it with feeling. Faith is the strongest and the most productive of the emotions. Follow the instructions given in the chapter on faith. These instructions at first seem abstract. Do not let this disturb you. Follow the instructions no matter how abstract or impractical they may at first appear to be. The time will soon come if you do as you have been instructed, in spirit as well as in act, when a whole new universe of power will unfold to you. Skepticism in connection with all new ideas is characteristic of all human beings. But if you follow the instructions outlined, your skepticism will soon be replaced by belief. And this in turn will soon become crystallized in absolute faith. Then you will have arrived at the point where you may truly say, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Many philosophers have made the statement that man is the master of his own earthly destiny. but most of them have failed to say why he is the master. The reason that man may be the master of his own earthly status, and especially his financial status, is thoroughly explained in this chapter. Man may become the master of himself and of his environment because he has the power to influence his own subconscious mind and through it gain the cooperation of infinite intelligence. You are now reading the chapter which represents the keystone to the art of this philosophy. The instructions contained in this chapter must be understood and applied with persistence if you succeed in transmuting desire into money. The actual performance of transmuting desire into money involves the use of autosuggestion as an agency by which one may reach and influence the subconscious mind. The other principles are simple tools with which to apply autosuggestion. Keep this thought in mind, and you will at all times be conscious of the important part of the principle of autosuggestion is to play in your effort to accumulate money through the methods described in this book. Carry out these instructions as though you were a small child. Inject into your efforts something of faith of a child. The author has been most careful to see that no impractical instructions were included because of his sincere desire to be helpful. After you have read the entire book, come back to this chapter and follow in spirit and in action this instruction. Read the entire chapter out loud once every night until you become thoroughly convinced that the principle of autosuggestion is sound and that it will accomplish for you all that has been claimed for it. As you read, underscore with a pencil every sentence which impresses you favorably. Follow the foregoing instructions to the letter, and it will open the way of complete understanding and mastery of principles of success.
Awesome. Yeah, that is also deep. And the most powerful part of it all, again, like we said, this was written in 1937 from a group of men who are the most successful on the planet. What makes us to think in our own little brains, not that your brain's little, mine is, in my little brain, that I would ever even second guess anything that was said in written there. And just knowing these facts, like what is it that holds us back from actually doing all of this stuff? Because as I'm reading it all, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'll confess I haven't completed chapter 2 to the fullest, to write that out and actually do it and say it morning and night and repeat it throughout the day.
I did.
Good girl. Do you do it every day?
Yes, every day, morning and night.
You're my inspiration. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna finish it because I find that the 7-8 times whatever I've read this book, the only times that it works is if you do it. Like they said, if you don't do what's prescribed, it's not gonna happen. They said it right in here, point blank.
I'm gonna hold you accountable, Dom. Okay.
Thank you. Please do. And they say it right in here, point blank. If you do not follow all of these instructions, you will not get the results that you're looking for. And I find that so true with everything in life. We know what we want to do. We know what it's going to take. Or I should say, once we know what it's going to take, and then we actually know the answers to the test, and we keep choosing to mark the wrong answer and get a result that we don't want. So it's parallels to so much everything in here. And for whatever reason, we all have our own struggles and our own fights in our own, I'm gonna stop the share, and our own hangups on why we can't get whatever it is that we really truly want. We can't even follow the simple instructions. We got one person, I don't know the rest of you, I'm not saying none of you've done it, but Natasha is the only one that's spoken up so far. So I'm going to take her word that she's the only one on here that's followed all the instructions so far. So I'm going to challenge all of you, as well as me, that when we get off of this, finish up chapter 2, write it out. It doesn't take that long. I've got most of it written out, but not fully complete. And then that's my excuse and my hang up for not reading it every night, because I don't have it complete. It's 90% complete, but it doesn't say do it 90%. It says finish all of these 6 steps and do them every day and night. So
Hey,
That's
Dom,
yes, sir.
you know, I give you a quick analogy of how when I read this book years ago and I did those steps and I wrote out my written statement and I read it aloud twice daily.
Mhm.
And then I got out of the habit of resetting that goal, right? I kind of got away from it thinking that I didn't really need to stay with it. So I've yet to be able to create a statement using the 6 steps that Napoleon Hill has put in place and achieve that particular goal. However, I have a story of this work in a short period of time. I'll tell you, I was with a company years ago, and I had just for the first time in my life broken $10,000 a month in income. It was incredible. I couldn't believe it. Maybe to some people, 10,000 is not a lot of money, but where I grew up in Buffalo, New York, when you were just kind of living an ordinary life and your parents were just regular people, that's quite a bit of money. And I remember I hit it and I called my mentor and I was excited. I'm like, Richard, I made $10,000 this month. I say, oh, Michael, good for you. He says, that's great, but what are you going to make next month? I was like, what, I can't celebrate this? He goes, no, I want to know what you're going to make next month. And I said, well, I don't know. I hope to do well. He goes, well, that's not good enough. I said, what do you mean? He said, tell me right now what you're going to make next month. And guys, I didn't understand the exercise at the moment because I didn't know these principles yet. I was just learning them for the first time. And he said, what are you going to make next? I got, Richard, all right, if you want me to give you a number, 25,000. He goes, you're going to go from 10,000 to 25,000 in 1 month. What kind of a crazy person are you? I go, you asked me to give you my goal. I gave you my goal and now you got a problem with it. He goes, no, I love it. He goes, do me a favor. Grab some 5x7 index cards from Office Depot or any of the stores you can, get supplies like that, and go grab a marker and write down these words. So luckily I had some of these in front of me. I go, shoot. He said, so I wrote down, I made $25,000. I wrote down $25,000 in the month of July, 2000. God, what year was that? 2006. So he said, I want you to take a piece of tape and put that somewhere where your eyes are always facing. And I'm like, where my eyes are? He's like, you work from your office a lot. I said, yeah. He goes, you got a computer? I said, yeah. He goes, you always in front of it? I go, yeah. He goes, and if there's a shelf or a wall space right above the computer line, put it right there. Like, okay. He goes, I need you to look at that every single day when you're in your office. Say it to yourself when you're staring at it. Just keep repeating it over and over again. And the guy's in a really weird point in my life. It was always in my face. So subconsciously, not consciously, subconsciously, because it was in my sight, my vision, I was really saying it to myself all day long, whether I said it to myself or not, if that makes sense to you. Meaning my subconscious mind was reading it all day long. I could see it in my peripheral all day long. And when we got to the end of that month, I looked at my final income and it was $25,947. And it was crazy because it's not really easy, guys, to double your check in 1 month in any business. Think about it. You open up a pizzeria, you got 100 customers this week, you'll probably have right around 100 customers next week. You're not going to, unless it's the best pizza in the world, it's not going to grow that fast, right? So I learned the power of what Napoleon Hill is talking about here. And thanks for letting me share with you guys. The power of this is your thoughts are everything.
Everything.
And you do little tricks to make yourself think about it. You put an inspirational picture of yourself or someone you want to look like physically on your refrigerator. And every time you go to the refrigerator, you see that image of that person, whether it was you from years ago and you want to just get back to where you once were, like I do, or maybe it's someone that's never been in incredible physical shape before. Maybe this is a first time thing. You just, basically what I'm saying is if you can control your thoughts and trick your mind or talk to it over and over again and win it over every day, then you'll succeed in anything that you truly want to succeed in. I think the question earlier that somebody was kind of alluding to was, what is the investment going to take for you to be successful? You know, how bad do you want it? Because if you really know what it takes to be wildly successful, I don't want to pretend everyone listening to me right now is me, but I have huge dreams and I have huge goals that go far beyond what the money income means. It's just the amount of good you'll be able to, number one, do for you, do for your family, do for your, maybe your parents, if you have aging parents. But anyways, just kind of throwing some stuff. I'll cut it off now, guys, but this chapter really hits home, and this stuff really works if you apply it. You got to write down how much money you want, what's your sacrifice, what you're willing up to give up in exchange for the money. It's what I was ultimately getting at. What is your sacrifice? Because the truth is, success is simple. The question is, are you willing to do what successful people do? And what successful people do is what makes successful, as silly as that might sound.
Very true. Very true. And it's, you know, it's mastering the mundane. It's the repetitive day in and day out, the grind, you know, they call it the grind. It shouldn't be a grind. It's just, you know, when they say you should grind and hustle, that's all that motivation hype stuff. I mean, nothing should be a grind. That's like what they say with, like, you know, that means it needs some oil. If it's grinding, you need some oil. You need to shift gears, and you need to get it to a point where, you know, you're really enjoying the vision of your outcome and versus the right
Well,
now.
it's funny you say that, Dominic, because when you say to me, when I listen to you call it a grind, right? I don't want to be a part of a grind. That doesn't sound exciting to me.
No.
Like, there's nothing appealing to grind. I don't want to grind. I want to enjoy every step, because you can be successful and
Yeah.
enjoy every step of the way.
You want to
That's a
flow,
choice.
not grind.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so maybe we really need to stop looking at it like how this is going to be a grind. Because I will confess that in order to be successful, like I was years ago financially, I put in hours. But Dominic, I'll tell you one thing: a lot of those hours I was putting in, they were filled with elation.
Oh yeah, most
They weren't.
exhilarating time of your life, I'm sure.
Oh, brother, it was the most. It really was. Like, I couldn't go to bed late enough, and I couldn't get up early enough, because
Yeah.
I was in so much flow back then, Dom,
Yep.
and things were flowing so unbelievably that it was a joy to work on something that was growing the way it was growing.
Yep. Yep.
You know, it's when it becomes a joy to just watch it grow and go to bed at night and imagine where it's going to be a year from now. Oh my God, if it keeps up at this pace, where the heck am I going to be? I'll be completely retired for the rest of my life. Oh my God, this is amazing. You know, anyone that's now, here's what it would have been a grind, Dominic, if I wasn't succeeding.
Right.
It would have been a grind if the paycheck wasn't matching the desire, if the paycheck wasn't matching the dedication, the deservingness, right? Because you got to feel like you deserve whatever it is you're deciding you want to earn. You got to be able to see yourself in possession, not in possession like you're laying in bed and there's a whole bunch of $100 bills around you. Don't get that visual. Possession in the year 2022 is looking at a digital screen and seeing an end result on that screen and what that number can mean to you. So if your goal is 250,000, 500,000, you got to look past the numbers too, because you got to look at why that would be a goal for you. You know,
Yeah.
you got to keep digging in to that why.
Before you said, you see yourself, visualize yourself rendering the actions that in return for the money. So you have to picture yourself doing all the necessary service actions that in return for the money. So
right.
not just related to the amount, but also because you deserve it, because you already can see yourself taking the action, doing the services. So that's why the money is waiting in your bank account, right?
That's right. That's right. It's good stuff, guys.
Hey, this is Derek. Just wanted to jump in here real quick and and add a point that a couple of things that really stood out for me was when he was talking about the subconscious, and you know how the subconscious, which is guarded by the conscious, a lot of stuff comes to the door of the conscious to get into the subconscious. Right now, there is something in our subconscious, and it's kind of the habit, and I think of it in terms of the trading floor. Like, you think of the stock market, you got the traders on the trading floor. Those are some valuable seats that they hold. They all realize that if you can get one of those seats, you're literally sitting at the throne of everything that's happening in the financial world. Well, basically in our subconscious mind, those thoughts that go resident into that space is literally, they're sitting on the throne of all that comes from us and happens to us. It's really it's the gold seat for our life. So the power of of this auto suggestion, which is what this chapter is about, and knowing that we are in absolute control, whether we recognize that and exercise that is up to us to tap into that power. But the power is given to us. The key is given to us. So so that was one thought. The other thought that crossed my mind is I was listening to you guys, and I love all the feedback because I'm soaking it up like a sponge. I was thinking back to something in my life that said, I like to use parallels. And I said, I remember when I wanted to drive as a kid, I daydreamed, I night dream. Every time I close my eyes, even with my eyes open, I can visualize myself at the wheel of the car. Of course, my dad didn't see that, but I visualized that long before it ever happened, right? And let's face it, when you go to the driver's ed lesson and they can put your hand at 10 and 2 and all of this stuff, and it's all conscious, right? It's all manual and manipulation. And I think now the way I drive, when I get in the car, I couldn't tell you where my hands are. I mean, I could be on the phone driving, music playing, a variety of stuff. I'm in pure autopilot mode, right? And I thought about if I apply that, which is what these principles are teaching us how to do, then you have the same opportunity to create that situation in this other vein of production and producing, whether it be financially or spiritually or physically, however it is that you want to satisfy yourself. So that was just something that really struck a chord with me. I mean, even though it's a small chapter, you compare it to the length of the others, but the potency of it is so far much. It's just beyond words. So, and I really want to commend my friends that jumped on tonight in the midst of this, because sometimes when you don't begin at the very beginning, you might not be as compelled. But I have been living these pages.
I love it.
These every day, and it's like it's oozing out of me. So unfortunately, my friends have become the victims of my ooze, right? I call them up and say, "What's going on in your life?" "Oh my God, you got to check this out." They'll tell you. I mean, I cannot not think about it now. It's like it's something I think about all day long.
Keep being the light, brother, because all it's doing is filling you up and making your light brighter. So you're gonna attract and you're gonna help the ones that are, that need the light, that need to be drawn back to the light, that need to, join in this journey with you, with us, this isn't gonna stop, by the way. Like, this is just the beginning of, something magical, because when you have this many people in each week, we've had 12 or 13 people each of the 3 weeks, and all organic and still growing of who it is. And it's just random times. Like, again, I apologize for not having a set time, but that's just how my life goes. That's how I've always been. I get stuff in the schedule, and then we just make it happen. And then, I want to say thank you to all of you for joining us, the ones that have been on here each week or the ones that are just joining, because you have to have a village. Jesus couldn't do it by himself. So look, how many we got on here? We got 12. Check that out. Just saying. So I really encourage everyone again, and I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to go back and, you know, what I already have, and I'm going to actually redo it. And I'm going to put a whole new 6, go through all the 6 steps and really follow through with this, because everything in life is follow through. Finish what you start. I mean, how many times do people start something new? All the time. How often do they finish anything? Not very often. And then they wonder why their life is in shambles and, you know, never getting any better. And then they see their one friend and whoever it is rising up in some area. Well, they put in more work. They put in more time. They put in more dedication and more focus and more, you know, I heard the term yesterday and I don't think I'd ever heard it, but he's like, oh, they call that SOS, shiny object syndrome. And I'm like, everything's just something new. Oh, this, that, pick up another book, reading 17 books at one time, trying to do 35 businesses at once, trying to, you know, date 2, 3, 4 people at one time. That don't work. Find one thing, focus in on it, pour gasoline on it. And, you know, that one thing should be you, you know, and that's the biggest portion that I think a lot of people, they're trying to do so many other things and then they forget about themselves. And they don't, you know, they're not taking care of their health. They're not taking care of their fitness. They're not taking care of their relationships. They're not taking care of their mindset. They're not taking care of their, you know, their own village, their own roof, you know, fixing everything else. Come home and your house is in shambles. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take care of your temple. We only get one, you know, and I had 2 clients today. One was 87 and one was 88. And I'm a personal trainer, health coach, and to see the level of desire that in will that they still have to, you know, better themselves at 87, 88 years old, powerful. So does anybody else have anything? I think Christina's open.
I do, yes. First of all, I'm not on camera because I'm driving. I'm always
No
driving.
worries.
Anyhow, I wanted to thank you, Dominic, for being transparent on what you haven't done. I haven't done it either. I want to thank you for saying that because it brought up another topic of conversation, which brought Zap on, and I was just loving it all. Both you and Zap's response. So I wanted to ask Zap, when we're doing this Think and Grow Rich from your experience, because the reason why I'm asking is because what's going on in my life right now. And due to technology and social media, we're being bombarded by other top well-known professionals, what one can do to enhance their life, you know, their success, your personal growth, what have you. So I'm currently participating in a free 5-day run with Tony Robbins on Breakthrough for 2022. And so trying to do that, and there's homework with that I haven't done because of life, and then do this Think and Grow Rich. What is your advice or suggestion? Am I stretching myself thin? Should I just focus on Think and Grow Rich? When you were doing Think and Grow Rich for the first time, I'm sure you probably back then didn't have other material that you were getting bombarded with, right? So,
Well, you know, the first thing I'm thinking is, Christina, the first thing I'm thinking is you basically only have so much time in a day and so much energy to, you know, you only have so much energy to absorb what you're trying to absorb. So I would say there's nothing wrong with, if you're doing the Tony Robbins thing, I'm a big fan of what Tony teaches. I'd say focus predominantly on that. And if you still have a hunger and a desire to take another bite out of it by jumping on this journey with us with Think and Grow Rich, I would say, Christina, whatever you can keep up with, keep doing. If it feels like you're not absorbing anything, then stop. But I know when I first got into personal development, probably just like many of you, I couldn't read enough books and couldn't listen to enough Jim Rohn. I became so hungry for anything I can just absorb, because you guys may or not my story, but I didn't come from wealthy beginnings. I didn't come from rich parents. I didn't come from money. Matter of fact, I came from the mindset that you work for other people and get benefits, and that's what life should look like. That was the first X number of years of my life. And then all of a sudden I got turned on to bigger things and goals and bigger dreams. And I learned that you didn't have to be a professional athlete or a singer or an actor in order to make the kind of money in this world that we're right now, as we're talking right now. This is personal growth. And Dominic didn't say everyone Venmo me $10,000 to do a 12-week, 12-chapter study on the book Think and Grow Rich. Dom never charged you, but guess what? Dom is just as capable and as able to teach this material as anybody in the world, because Dom can actually point to an area in his life that he can absolutely prove to everyone here on the Zoom today he was successful. He achieved a couple major things in his life. He became a personal trainer, became an expert in healing and working with other people's bodies. That's a major success. And guess what else he succeeded in? He succeeded in getting his own body to be the talk, not, or walk the walk, not just the talk. So he lives health, wellness, and fitness, and he is extremely wealthy. And I mean that when I look at Dominic and I know who he is, a lot of people think about wealth as being financial success. And yes, that's one area of wealth in your life. But man, I remember when I was looking like Dom and super lean and fit as a fiddle. And I can tell you right now, I've been rich financially and I've been rich physically. And I'll take physically over financially any day of the week. I'll take being physically pain-free, healthy, right diet, right energy, no problems with digestion, no high blood pressure. No, just fit as a fiddle. Man, that's true wealth to me. So anyways, I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but it's a couple thoughts.
I appreciate all that. And yes, it makes complete sense. And, I'm the rest of this year, because every year I come out with a different motto for the year, I guess. And I keep struggling with what it's going to be this year. For whatever reason, something wasn't sticking. Last year was to be more bold with my conversations and with who I am. And the year before that was to spread my knowledge and all the knowledge that I've acquired and the things that I know firsthand that are 100%. Like Zap said, I put my body into the best shape I've ever been. I'm 47 years old. And I can say right now I'm in better health and I feel the best I've felt, total health, in my whole life. And it keeps getting better because I keep adding to it. And I keep adding different components to my life and I had this conversation with a client today. I look at it like you got a big pool here and a big pool here. All these things in this pool are things that I know that make me feel amazing. My friends, my family, God, real foods, vegetables, fruits, meditation, walking, push-ups, workouts, whatever in this pool. Over here is the one that I know is not good for me. Soda, chips, beer, whatever, procrastination, different people that are energy stealers versus energy givers. Get into that pool, stay into that other pool. When you find you're in this pool over here, get the heck out, get over into the other pool and just keep looking around in there for all the things and keep doing those things and get through the day. You got to get through the day because nobody's promised tomorrow. I'm not saying get through it, enjoy that day. You do all the things that are in that good pool, you're going to be in a great space. You're going to have amazing energy and you're going to get all that back. It's not going to happen overnight. It's staying in there every day is the trick. And get back in there every day is the trick. You get in that one, you're going to end up being drowned. You're going to get sucked in. You're going to get sucked back. You're going to get sucked into somebody else's life. You're going to sucked into their problems. You're going to be helping them out. Back to what I said earlier. Take care of yourself first. Get back to helping you. Get back to filling yourself up. Like Derek said, he can't get enough of this book. There's a reason. These are all the answers. They've given us all the answers to the test right in these pages. So anybody else have any thoughts? Or I see Brian Howard on here, probably listening from work. Joda Cornell, thanks for joining us.
Guys, I wanted to
Carmen.
say thank you.
You're welcome, Carmen.
I really appreciate it. This reminds me of Zoom meetings that we had before that were path changers. And I miss those meetings so much because it really encouraged me, gave me motivation to continue to grow on myself and become a better person. And when you do that, you attract amazing people. So I just wanted to say thank you, because I see everybody around here and you guys, look amazing, and we're in this journey together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Great to hear from you guys. And I'm gonna try to connect every week after work. I'll be driving, but I'll be listening. So again, thank you.
Awesome,
Good stuff, Carmen. Good stuff. Yep, I miss this work right here. It's been a missing element in my life. Carmen was just referring to Dominic. I know you remember, for the past 2.5 years, I was building another business. Right prior to starting that organization, I decided it wasn't going to be about the company or the product. It was going to be about the people.
That's right.
And it was going to be about personal growth. And we did that for over 2 years straight, every single morning, Monday through Friday. And what I was able to do was kind of take what I've learned since I've been in this world of personal growth and share my philosophies. I wrote a book called Path Changers. It's a awesome book. I wish I could give it to you, but it's not in writing yet, so you don't have it. I live the book every single day, and I've been working on it for years. And one day soon, one day I'll be completing that book and getting that manuscript of my life and my stories and some of the successes I've had that I think would help other people. And but yeah, we used to do those morning calls every single morning, and it's a shame that we don't do them anymore. There's a reason why it kind of fell apart, which isn't for this phone call, but for whatever reason, I didn't keep it going in another vein, and I wish I would have. But Dom, you're doing it right here, right now. So
it's already being recreated and restarted, brother. This isn't Dom's show. This is our show. This is our life. This is for us to go forward. Like I said, there's several other books that I want to bring to this that I believe will tie right into. One of them's right back here, Atomic Habits. I know that if you haven't read Atomic Habits, get it, because that is how do you tie all of these things that you're learning into your life and you're trying to add into your daily routines, and how do you get those to stick? Well, he has all the tools and the tricks in there to get them in, but also how to get because it's either good habits or bad habits. We're just made up of habits. We're all made up of what we do habitually every day. That's a habit. So he creates and teaches you how to get rid of those habits too. So it's a powerful book, but this one right here is the most powerful, because if you don't have the belief, no matter what kind of habits that you're trying to create, if you don't believe it, and if you don't have the burning desire to go get it, if you don't have the faith that it's going to happen and speak these stuff into existence, and really, there's a reason, like Zap said, he wrote $25,000 that month, because he believed it, he saw it, he had faith in it, and then the auto suggestion, all these things tie right into how to make this all happen. So it's all amazing stuff. I see who came on here, Tyrone.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good, brother. Sorry so late, man. Just got back from my game.
Nah, no worries. We're just wrapping up.
Yeah.
But we'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
If there's anything that you'd like to add to? I see you put those motivation quotes in our feeds every day. So you're obviously a man of staying on top of. That's what it's all about, is the daily monotony of success is just doing it over and over. And when you think that you've heard enough of that stuff, or you've learned enough, or I don't need that anymore, that's when you need it the most.
Yeah, I've been doing that for like 20, 25 years, man. I usually I got a big email list that's send the quote out for. Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. So anybody got any last parting words? Did you, Natasha?
Well, I just want to say
Yes.
thank you for, Derek, inviting me into this program. I started with Think and Go Rich many, many years ago. And when I started my company, my computer company, and it got quite large. But in the beginning, I wanted to set a standard, and I used this book to help me organize my mind and try to figure out how to get the team to work together. And so I bought the book and gave it to all of the members in the beginning. Of course, we became 2,000 employees in the end, so I couldn't give everybody a book. But in the very beginning, there was only 3 of us. And so we used that to help focus our minds in. I kind of got away from it. I read many books after this. Not a very good reader. I didn't finish the 12th grade and all that. But I built a pretty good business after that. My wife used to read to me, to teach me to read. But in the end, we did pretty well. We did a $1 billion business, multi-billion business. But so it's the principles. It's not only about knowledge, but it's how you use that knowledge and what parts of it you really think apply to you that can make you a better person or people around you better people. And so I appreciate that. This is a good, bring me back to my roots.
Awesome, Reggie. I appreciate you sharing that, because that's, like you said, it's just a testament to show you that it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're rich or poor, black or white, where you come from in the world, that these are principles. If you use them, they work. Yeah. If you don't use them, they're not going to work. So appreciate it. Anybody else? Dave, Natasha, I see.
Yeah, I can share. I read Think and Grow Rich loosely number of times by the book, and also listened to the audiobook loosely number of times, but not until I truly systematically study it. At this time, it's very different because there's so many words and concepts that were jumping at me, like the principle, right? The truth is like start showing, because when we actually, this book is like a living, breathing thing. If you invest in time with it and spend the word with it and spend time with the words in the book, living through the principle in your daily life, you're gonna realize, wow, how can I miss those things, right? For example, Napoleon Hill said, both success and failure is result of what? The result of habits, right? So the habit of thinking positive thoughts, the habit doing, visualization, all those, turn your burning desire into a obsession, right? The habit of, he is programmed us to be money conscious. He is programmed us to be wealth conscious, and he's programmed us to be successful conscious rather than failure conscious. So unless we go through the program, reprogram ourselves to be successful conscious, if you don't follow the instruction, like follow the principle, that's why they said your failure, your success, it depends on how well to the T you follow the principles. And then, I follow what, Michael said, not until when you listen to the audio or you read the book, what's the next sentence gonna coming up. That means you have not studied enough the book. And then this time, I did I did read the digital version, the PDF version. Then I have the big study book, all those, 3-pack of that book version. Then I have the audio version. Then I read the book again with everyone here on this call. I go back to listen to the audio again. So literally each chapter I go through 4 or 5 times. Literally now I feel like I can reciting certain key concepts in the book, and then I start living through, and then every step they told me to write down the statement of desire, I did it. And then really allow every day, with emotion, I did it every day and night, right? And then I did that ever since I started reading this book with you guys. And I feel like, and I taking action immediately, because there's a different strategy of what I want to do. Then I realized, wow, not until you truly test it with yourself, with your own life, you realize this is a gold mine. You need to keep mining it, right? That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you, everyone.
I appreciate all of that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm just gonna. I wanted to say one more thing.
Sure.
Thank you, Natasha, for that. As you were talking, I literally started thinking about Hollywood and actress. Somebody gives them a script, right? And it's a set of words. It wasn't their words, but they're given this set of words, and then they have to study that script over and over until they embody the script. And when I listen to you talk, I'm venturing that the script, the Think and Grow Rich script, that you, the actress, have embodied it so that you are the physical form of that body of principles. Like you say, you've become one with it, and it's become one with you. And so there's no separation. That is the what they call transmuting or transformation, or there's so many little bitty words that each and every single word has a specific purpose for us connecting the hatch, connected every element to our soul, to our being, to our conscious and our subconscious. So thank you for that. It hit me when you were talking. I'm like literally thinking we have so many examples of this, and so this is confirmational in so many different ways. So I'm gonna stop there.
Oh, that's awesome, man. No doubt. Anybody else hit? Anybody else got anything before we close this up? I think that was amazing. And I really appreciate, again, all of you guys getting on here, putting in your input, whatever is on your heartstring and on your soul and in your fibers. If something hits you later, put it in the chat. That's where I think, we can start sharing a few more things that just happened to us. Because the deeper we get into this book, the more that, like, Natasha's living in this book, like, Derek's living in the book. It's like, I've listened to it, like I said, twice today. I listened to it before. I read the chapter, and then we read it again, and I'll go back again. It can't not become part of you if you live it, if you're living in it, and those words will become your words. Like Natasha said, like Mike referred to the day one, when you read this and you hear this and you listen to it enough times that you can recite the next word like it's a song, that's when you know it. That's when you're eating it, breathe it, living it. But we got to stay in it. You can't just get in and out, dabble in and out. Like I said before about personal development and all of that, getting back into doing a lot more of that stuff. Since I've made that part of my journey every single morning on my way in to go train, I hit my YouTube, my motivational or inspirational or, whatever. YouTube knows what I like. It knows what y'all like. So just click on your YouTube in the morning, and the first thing that pops up, I hit that, and it starts my day. The meditation I do, I started that this new year. It just changes you, just commit to the daily habits, get back to that pool of all of that amazing stuff, whatever it is in your pool, and dive in. And we'll everybody have an amazing night. Appreciate you all, and we'll catch up next week. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Dominic.
You're welcome. You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Dominic.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you,
Christina.
Thank you very much.
everyone.
Have a good
Thank
night,
you.
Welcome, Derek.
Yeah,
All right.
sorry, John, so late, guys, but happy to see everybody.
Absolutely, Tyrone. No worries.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, you, Bri. Thanks, Bri. Be there.